We are 1 week removed from the fight. How are you feeling?
Feeling, how am I feeling? About the fight itself.
Everything. Break it down however you want to break it down.
How am I feeling? Quietly confident. Quietly confident. And that's after watching the fight. I was like, oh yeah, I see.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
You watched the fight back. Have you only seen it the one time or have you gone back to watch it again?
No, just once. I watched it
And
again
that
soon.
was a couple days ago?
Yeah.
What was the experience like even watching it?
Watching it, I was just like, oh, okay, you just gotta fucking pull this back. You've seen me, even if I've had fights that I won, but I wasn't really satisfied. I was just like, ugh, I don't want to watch that shit, you know. But I just watch it anyway, just so I can learn from it. And yeah, this is no different. I wasn't happy with the performance, so I was like, ugh, don't want to watch this, but I have to watch it just so I can learn from it. As soon as I watched it, and it's the same reaction every time, I'm like, oh, that wasn't that bad. What I felt in there was different than how it looked.
How did you feel in there?
Like a bad dream. Like, you know, one of those dreams where you...
Lucid nightmare or something?
Like, just like, not even a nightmare. Like, nightmare is like, oh shit, fuck.
That's what I feel like.
bad dream.
I was projecting.
Not, well, nightmare is like, you know, you're scared. But this is like, oh, just like, why is this not, like, you try and hit the guy and just feels like noodle arms. Like, just like, what the fuck? Like, it's not. So yeah, that just felt like a bad dream. But, yeah, feeling it and watching it completely different. And called Eugene right afterwards and we talked to him. Same thing. We're quietly confident.
While you were in there, did the fight go fast or did it go slow? How did it feel?
Surprisingly fast. Surprisingly, I didn't even know it was the last round. I was like, is this the last round? He's like, it's the last round. I was like, fuck. I was like, okay, like, vámonos. Like, you need to do something. So, but yeah, it's just the way I felt in that fight wasn't, yeah, it was just, yeah. But again, it's just also the way he worked. He just never let me get into my rhythm at all.
Let's talk about it, yeah. What are some of the things that he and his coaches did well? Because they were pretty upfront. Everyone knew what their game plan the game plan was going to be. Forward pressure, cut you off. And he said he was willing to give one to take one.
Yeah. Yeah, but just wasn't able to like just get my rhythm because of his pressure. He was right there constantly. And whenever I was setting him up, because he's right there, then his coach would help him. And I'd be like, fuck. And yeah, it was just good game plan from their end, but also for me, I wasn't able to adjust on the fly. And we can break that down another time. But no, it was his night. It was his night. And yeah, he got it done. I made another dream come true.
Talk about how good his defense was, because at some stage during the fight, you mentioned that you couldn't find your jab.
Yeah, even like, I said it before the fight, I think his guard is like just real unique and unorthodox. So I wasn't able to find my jab, and I'm able to find my jab. I can find the chin. I'm very confident in that. But yeah, it was just, his guard was just good. It was good defense and good offense. Well-rounded game.
Let's talk about the first round. He rocked you and dropped you with a right straight. What was your own initial reaction to that like? Because we saw, people's reactions on the internet. Rogan almost had a heart attack. Like, Rogan's eyes almost popped out of his head. Like, couldn't even...
I haven't seen many of them yet. But yeah, mine was like, this nigga just dropped me. And I was kind of like laughing a little bit. And at one point I looked at Mark Gordon. You can find the clip and frame it. I was just like, I'm okay. But I was just like, and then right afterwards, we disengaged, and I feel like, right, I'm clear, I'm lucid, back on the attack. And then it was 5 seconds or something left, so then I went back to my corner. But I remember I was
What
awake.
did Eugene say?
I was out of position, and I tried to use a lead hook counter, but he just pop, the rhythm. That's not what Eugene said, but like Eugene just pretty much said I was out of position. But when I look back at it now, it's just his timing. The 1-2 was offbeat, pop, and then just got me in between in the rhythm. It was good. It was a nice shot, clean. And the barrage as well, I was like, oh shit, he's pouring it on. I was like, he's really punching me. I was like, I'm okay, ref. But I was literally, I was like, this motherfucker's punching me.
You recovered well. You came back in the second round and you won the second round. You didn't look like,
Yeah, I don't like to brag about, oh, go to chin. Like, it's a stupid thing to brag about. But no, I know how to recover well from certain shots. I am human, so yeah.
And then talk to me through what's going on as the third round starts and he's still frustrating you. He's still, disrupting your rhythm. You can't land. He's what's going through your mind as you feel the fight slipping away from you?
I wasn't even scoring the fight, but I just knew, like, nigga, you're losing the fight. But in there, it was just like I said, it was just felt like I just felt like my arms were just not like noodles.
How did you feel warming up in the back?
Felt better. I have felt better in the back when I'm just like, fuck, I'm sharp. But yeah, like, I knew I got to finish this guy. Oh, and I tried, just try and find something and don't get caught. Especially in the last round, I was like, make sure, don't get caught. So I don't like fighting like that. I like fighting to win and not on the defensive primarily. Yeah, I like to be offensive in certain situations, like in the last round. Okay, we got to go. But I just couldn't go.
What were your coaches telling you in between rounds as the fight was playing out? Because Eugene said there was a bit of a disconnect with what they were seeing and trying to communicate that to you. And
maybe I wasn't tapped in. Maybe I just, like, sometimes just lag, a little bit of lag. Because even after he told me what he meant, and I was like, he wanted me to, when he talked about that, and I was like, okay, bet, that's what he meant. Like, just a little bit of a lag between communications, I think, yeah.
Is that like also you not being as locked in mentally going into that fight? Because the comparison from 287 to 293 is like...
Someone said something to me. I think it was AB. AB said, he said as soon as the opponent switched, he said like almost instantly, it was like, I went from, with Dracus, I went like, I want to fucking kill this dude. Like I had this thing about me. He said like when the opponent switched, he just noticed like going from, I'm gonna murder this motherfucker, I'm gonna fucking kill this guy, to, oh yeah, I'm gonna whoop this dude, I guess.
How much pressure did you even feel going into that fight and during fight week?
Yeah, I put all the pressure on myself because in my head I was like, I have to beat this guy. No matter what, I have to beat this guy. But I just didn't have that venom.
I thought you'd get the venom from the, trash talk and, everything. But
yeah, like, I mean, definitely some of the stuff, hell, it's not over. The story's still being written, but like, I talked to Eugene about certain things as well, and then we know exactly what to do. Yeah, we know exactly what to do leading on to the next one.
Before the fight, we sat here and we talked about how, in some alternate universe, in some different timelines, Strickland wins the fight. And it was, our job to make sure that...
It's on this timeline.
That didn't happen. When it was all said and done and they announced and knew and, everything played out, what were those, initial emotions like?
Every time after a fight, no matter when you win or lose, I just feel a sense of relief, like, oh, well. So there's no relief of anything, but just like, oh, well, made it out. That one, the
you're okay,
and everything, healthy, fine. So that's the main thing, being healthy, being fine from the camp. And there, even though there's all these little things that happen during the camp, but like overall healthy, wealthy, and yeah. Initially, I was just like, oh, well, good job. First thing I said to him, because he starts crying, I'm like, hey, stop crying like a bitch. He starts laughing, and I'm like, hey. And then we talked about, other stuff. I was like, don't bring my family into this today. And he's like, I'm sorry. And changed his tune at the post-fight though. It's weird. I was like when we have like a real moment and it's genuine, it's like, oh yeah.
He's a politician.
Yeah, but still, it's just like, I guess he has to keep up appearances. But I just find it weird how you have a real moment and then like, it's all good. Keep it real.
You still went to the after party, you still, had fun, took photos with fans.
Three of us won, so it's still an accomplishment. Even if we're all like, doesn't matter, like what we've done, we still have to celebrate because look where we come from, how far we've come. And to be able to even do that, Sydney, 6 fighters from CKB, with a new signee, go in there and do what we did is just, it's our president. So yeah, we have to celebrate no matter what, even the small wins.
Evan starting the night off.
Fuck, banger. Yeah, banger. Kevin just went in there and just like kicked the door in and said like, everybody on the fucking ground. And yeah, it's him. It's just, it's just good to see because we all know how good Kevin is. So the fact that he went in and did the way he did and just at the mic starts calling out Ian Gary already, calling out whoever else, like going at everyone. But that's Kevin. I know how good he is. So yeah, it's a good job. He kicked the night off well.
Talk to me about your first post-fight shower.
My first post-fight shower was after the after party, after all the noise.
You didn't shower before the after party?
Nah.
Man's was in there dirty.
I was just a little moist, but still.
Dana said you looked slow and flat in there. You know, a lot of people, the general consensus was that's not Israel the last time with Adesanya that they saw at 293. You know, your last 3 fights, UFC 281, 287, 293. That's 3 title fights in the last 10 months. You know, everyone praises you for being an active champion. A number of title fights that you've had, including those ones, I think that makes you the most active champion in UFC history.
I don't know. We'll see.
How much of a toll does it take on you physically and mentally? Going in there, back-to-back camps?
It takes a toll, but again, like I said, I'm human. I understand what I have to do to get back to who I am. And you know what's funny as well?
What?
I've seen a little bit, like, you know, they chirp, they delight my demise and whatnot. But it's funny how they all say, like, if I face that version of Israel, it'd be this, it'd be that. Oh, I'll kill him in 2 rounds. I'll do this. If that version of Israel shows up to fight me, that version of Israel, that version of Israel, I'm like, well, you understand who I am then, which is good.
Yeah, exactly.
I just find that funny. Even me, like this, you know me, after the period fight, what did I take? Like 2 weeks before I even said anything? I like to take my time with things. I process things, win or lose. I take my time. That Pereira one was fucking huge, so I had to like take my time to just go through everything, process everything. I'm good with time. I'm good with patience. So that's why even now it's taken so long before I've done this interview, just to like go through my own emotions and process everything.
How was your training camp leading up into this fight? And are there some things that you could have done differently?
Yeah, definitely. Just little things. Like, for example, I'm going to start having breakfast before I train. Like, little things like that. I'm like, okay, at this level, the camps, they get better and better, more dialed in with things I do. But then now I'm like, okay, bet, we've had this result. So what else can I do to change, to better myself?
With everything we talked about, you being active and whatnot, when do you think people will see you back in the octagon?
We'll see.
Do you care who holds the belt?
No. The belt's never mattered to me. Like, I mean, it does obviously, but like, how many times have I said, it's just a fancy tiara that brings more money and this and that, rah. But I've gone to the level now that the belt's just a nice accessory. And I already got belts. I got many belts.
And the last thing, is there anything that you want to say to your fans and supporters, the real ones?
The real ones. Stick with me, kid. To be honest, no, like I said, those who know me and appreciate me, thank you. Thanks for sticking by me. Thanks for, just thank you. Because without you guys, I won't be able to do what I do. Without you guys, like the real ones I'm talking about, like, you know who you are. The ones that are solid, the ones that take inspiration from my stories and my triumph. Even in my losses, they've taken inspiration from my life story. So thank you guys. I really appreciate you. And again, patience. Practice patience with me. Don't react, respond. Take your time. Let me cook. But yeah. In these times, like, bro, last time I lost, what happened? I said they still call me champ. Nothing changed. I won the belt again. They call me champ. Nothing changed. I lost again. They still call me champ. Nothing changes. I'm Israel Adesanya.